with the way I roll spiritually, you don't get very far. Just 'cause I blew money. I don't play. Like I've gone through my own phase. Like I blew money. Like like I don't even know where half the people are that I spent some of this money on. Like I blew money. I believe so much in karma. When your karma comes for you and it's a bad thing, you'll know it's me. You'll know it's me. When it happens, you know that point where you're just like, why is this happening to me? You will know it's me. Because I'm telling you, Justice, if we were to actually go and investigate a lot of these people attacking us online, you will feel sorry for them. Who they are, what they're going through. Like just a lot of, you know what, I've learned to look at some negative comments and I'm just like, you, if I come to your house, my brother, you probably have mad issues.
Gigi Lamayne.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
How are you doing?
Okay. I was a little bit nervous.
Really?
Yeah, for you, because of where we are shooting. You know,
Where are we shooting?
we're shooting in Mabone in Joburg. You know, we had the other guests that we were shooting. They wanted to go back home because they couldn't find parking. So, and they were also scared. You know how Joburg can be sometimes. You know.
I had my suitcase. I had my suitcase stolen once, and my car was like scratched.
Yeah.
That better be money calling.
It is actually.
That better be lots of money calling. Do you want to take that call?
No.
I don't know.
It's
Who's got the money? Is it me or them?
It's actually money.
It's money. Do you want to answer
No,
that call?
no.
I won't hear the money call.
No, it's fine. I can always. It's. To be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's real money, honestly. So.
Do you need a partner?
I think in the future.
Okay.
In the future.
Yeah. So I mean, Maboneng is the heart of the city, but it's like, it's also. I mean, we live in South Africa, right?
Yeah. So what happened? They took your suitcase?
Yeah, we were having a suitcase, and then my car got scratched. Initially, it was the car got scratched, and then when we went back to change into something else, the suitcase was gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think the photographer meant for that to happen. You know, it was just something that kind of happened. So
Yeah.
it's all love.
In 2021, you guys were hijacked. I don't know if you were coming from a shoot, from a gig or a shoot.
Yeah.
I was not sure.
Yeah.
But there was some sort of a violence going on there. What really happened?
So we were actually out to support Black Keys EP launch at a certain club, and I have a feeling that we were followed based on the car that we had. I decided to get a new one after that. But I have a feeling that they were tailing us for a minute. So I live towards the north, and I think they just followed us, found an opportunity because we weren't so vigilant. I mean, we were tired, we were coming back from a good time, and yeah, we were hijacked. I just remember hearing somebody, banging with a gun on the driver's side. And he was like, guys, we're being hijacked. And the doors were unlocked, obviously, because we didn't want to lose lives. And the person came out, get out of the car. And for some reason, I just got out and ran. I can never really say to you what happened that day. I just remember that one of my team members did have my bag on her, and they separated us, and I didn't have anything. I just told myself I'm not going to, because I've always heard these stories about, when they hijack you, they take you, you drive around, they ask you to withdraw amounts of money from your accounts until that's cleaned, and then they dump you somewhere. I've heard of someone who was even dumped naked. I've heard of someone who was violated as a woman. So, I mean, then that happened. And I remember running. I was in heels. And one of the guys ran after me, and I fell. And when I fell, the only thing I had on me,
one of your guys or
one of the guys was hijacking. Sure. So it's they all split up. There were 4 of them. I guess one was going to drive that car, and the one was going to drive our car, and then another 2. So one of them ran after me when he realized I was running into the bush.
Yeah.
And then I fell. I was wearing heels. I love that I was still on brand. Even after that, nothing told me to take off your heels. I was just I'm running for my life now.
Yeah.
And then I fell, and I did have my phone with me somewhere. And, then there was another phone. And I just remember throwing that phone thinking, hopefully he doesn't look for it hard enough. Then I'll go back to look for it so that I can call for help when all this is done. And he got to me after I'd fallen, started kicking me around, "Iguphi phone, where's your phone? And I was like, I don't know, I left it in the car. And she was like, I'm gonna do something to you. I'm literally gonna tear your clothes.
Did he have a gun?
I couldn't look up. I'm gonna tear your clothes off you. And I remember saying, I don't have, he's like, I'm gonna deal with you, Obviously, you know what that was. And I was like, I don't have my phone on me. And that's when he, kicked me around a little bit and ran back into the car. And then when that's all happening, first thing for me is that, okay, the guy who was driving is somewhere else. The lady with my bag, for some reason, the bag wasn't taken. God's doing, I don't know what that was on her. But for me, it was literally the phone. So I start looking for the phone and I find it and I call people close to me. Listen, we've been hijacked. And the first thing I'm thinking is I'm going to get on social media and tell them. So that's what happened. Then I put out the, what's it called, the registration plate. And it's crazy. Like, I have a very big success story, but I remember literally getting on my knees and saying, like, Lord, you know how hard I work. You know how honestly I work. There's no way you're going to let this happen to me. Us even acquiring that vehicle to be able to get down to work. It's not fair that it's going to be taken from us like this. I appreciate that no one is hurt, but those people cannot get away. And in 30 minutes, we found the car.
Sure. How did you guys find? Did you
they were looking for the tracker.
Oh, tracker.
Yeah, I also think they were amateurs. They did a pretty whack job. Like, they were looking for so they messed up the computer of the car. Computer box, of the car. They were looking for the tracker. I think they didn't find it. But I remember, post hijacking, we received aerial shots from a helicopter. So I think the helicopter was not on them, where they were literally taking pictures of the vehicle and you could see people like running from the vehicle. Then I did have a very nice backpack in the car that we used to use, going to work to put my makeup and stuff in. Like, one of the guys was running off with it. But yeah, I don't think that was I just think they followed us.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think they followed us.
From where you guys were at?
Probably. They were probably tailing us. The type of car we drive is a car that is used in, different places for transportation. Probably would have gone over the border, whatever it is. So, yeah.
Did you ever thought of maybe these guys were actually sent?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's insane.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But with the way I roll spiritually, you don't get very far. Like,
what do you mean?
I'm not. I'm very intact spiritually with everything, and I'm a very biblical person.
Okay.
I'm somebody who believes in spirits. I mean, I've got Muslim friends. I've got friends who belong to the Buddhist religion, and when I manifest something, it happens. So I think, there are times when I failed, things that I absolutely needed, but most of the time what I want happens, and we found the car, and if I say, things need to come to light, they often do.
For people like yourself, who's very well known in South Africa, when I look at, I think I was reading somewhere, I think Kulichana got shot by cops, stuff like that. Do you guys think that you need extra security?
Absolutely. Coming here, it's crazy that I didn't think of getting security, right?
Okay.
But I think that was the spiritual side, saying, you're going to be fine. But I roll with security now. I don't play. I don't play. I've got my nice, big, scary looking boys who do roll with me now, because especially with artists that are I don't have one, income revenue stream. I've got an IV bar. There are a lot of things I do in the medical industry. There are a lot of things that I do in fashion and retail. So you just never know who might feel that you're competition, I don't know, different things. So I do honestly believe that if you're somebody who is trying to be powerful, influential, successful, it's probably a good idea. And you're climbing, it's probably a good idea to get security. Yeah.
Jeez, man. You mentioned that you're doing so many things. You're a business owner. You know, you're a musician. You know, so you never know who's in competition with you.
Yeah.
Do you think that at some point you might need to get a pistol, just to
That's crazy.
just to protect yourself?
I don't know. What do the firearm laws say here in South Africa?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good idea that I get it because I'm somebody who's like very forgetful. I feel that like I might get it out of my safe because I know there are lots of rules to that, like get it out of your safe and then somebody might like steal it or whatever. So I don't think that I'm like competent enough to have a firearm.
Okay.
But I definitely hire people, and I've hired people around me who are, you know, part of greater security divisions who have, you know, the permission to carry firearms, to carry them, you know, on my behalf for safety purposes. So indirectly, yeah, you know, I just think we'd have to investigate like firearm laws and what they look like, you know, licensed, unlicensed, where we're allowed to go. I mean, there are a lot of crazy people who shoot up the place and then what, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, what happened to Keenan, and it really, really shocked me and it scared me, you know. And then I followed up. I saw Casper. He's saying he's paying lots and lots of money for security.
Me too.
And that really also yourself as well.
Absolutely.
So meaning that what happened back then, you were like, you know what, I'm done. I need to make sure.
Absolutely. I don't, like I'm saying, this is a very weird occasion. Wow. But I rolled 2-3 security, and then the rest of my team, we've got formations, we move in a certain way. I'm not allowed to go to certain places at events on my own. You know, we're very strict about that. Also, I'm like super short and, you know, so it would be very easy to like handle me physically. So that definitely shook us up. I mean, no one saw that coming.
Jeez. Wow, man. Do they also tell you maybe maybe you're in a club performing and they can just whisper into your ear like, yo, we need to go.
Yeah, absolutely, all the time. A few weeks ago, a fight broke out between boys just trying to see who can spend the most money, trying to impress the girls, and it broke out into a fight, and I was told to leave, you know. Wow. So something as little as that, something as small as that literally can become something very serious. So the minute fights break up, bottles are broken, whatever it is, then I'm running out of that club.
Wow. We know you as Gigi Lamayne. I know you from the screen, but I don't really know the real person besides the brand, you know. And I wanted to ask you, what's your real name?
My real name is Genesis Gabriella Tina. So Genesis, the first book in the Bible, Gabriella.
Okay.
Female version of Angel Gabriel, and Tina was named after my great-grandmother, who was also somewhat of a healer. So that's where the G from Genesis and the G from Gabriella, Gigi, comes from. Yeah.
And that angel is actually so strong, man.
I'm telling you.
Like, just by hearing what you were telling me, I'm like, oh, so that's why. Like, you being able to get out the car and run for your life.
I don't know. And you know, if somebody had a gun at that point, I swear to God, I'd be on. But my biological dad does come from a militant background. And I remember he always used to tell me about like zigzags and not walking in a, not running in a predictable way. So like the zigzags, and it's crazy that's what kicked in with the adrenaline and with what was happening. But that story could have ended really badly. It could have ended really, really badly. I don't know where I got the courage to do that. I will never do that again.
You are so strong.
I will never do that again, but yeah, it happened.
Were you the only female?
No, there were two of us, the lady holding my bag, myself, and the DJ/driver. No longer works with me, but yeah, he was there.
You left men in the car and you...
Well, we were split up. To be fair, we were split up. Wow. But I ran, and I think it was just the adrenaline kicking in. For me, it was simply that, like, I'm not going to live with you raping me. I'm not gonna. That was my biggest fear. My biggest fear was like, if I don't run out of this car right now, then you're gonna take me. I see the money. Money can be replaced. We can make more money, you know.
I mean, like, yeah.
But
yeah.
that's. I haven't even had kids yet. I haven't gotten married yet. Now I have to live with that. I don't know you, and you're taking that from me.
Yeah.
And tomorrow in your little criminal circles, you'll be boasting about what you did to me. So no.
Right now, I'm looking at Gigi Lamayne. There's Genesis. How was it like growing up as Genesis?
It was horrible. I loved Gigi. I mean, I was the nerd. I was the what do they call it? They used to think I was a teacher's pet because I just liked reading. I liked, and teachers, like, they can tell when somebody's just like about their own stuff. I was never cool. I was never pretty enough. I was never vocal enough I was never, my mom, like, I don't come from a rich family to be able to blend into certain things. And I think sometimes when you know that you're not, there's certain things that you lack, somehow the universe allows you to really shine bright in what you do have. And what I've always had was just a love for writing, for reading, but most importantly, like, for standing on my own and having the people who eventually stand with me feel that they're as powerful as they should be. So Genesis was really it wasn't a very nice time in my life because I wasn't in control, but I definitely was taught as a young person in school, because I was bullied a lot because I was smaller, because I wasn't that pretty, because I didn't come from a good background, because I didn't have the latest this and that. And my mom felt she was taking me to a very good school to get a good education. But, when you get there and there are people who are, who are more affluent than you, come from good homes or in the PTA meetings, and we are bringing the bare minimal to the school. Believe it or not, that is politics, All I had was my books and to work really, really hard. So, when you come out almost top of the class, and it's like, why her? You can get a lot of haters, from that. So hip hop actually allowed me to express myself, become the Super Saiyan of who I wanted to be. So I would tell stories about who I am now, somebody who can stand on their own, somebody who can do things on their own, but somebody I'm very protective. So if you come for the people I love, I'm going to come for you. If you come for people who are loyal to me and who've done good by me, then it's a war by me as well. And I think that's the difference between Genesis and Gigi. But Genesis was definitely the soldier in training, and Gigi's the general.
Genesis is in school.
Yeah.
Doing whatever that she's doing, bullying her and stuff like that. Were you always in love with music at the time?
I think I was, but I wasn't aware of it. So I have 3 siblings before me by my dad. And my elder sister used to love watching Jam Alley and practicing. One day she's going to get there and do the whole freestyle thing. So, and she was in love with like EVE and the raps and, stuff like that. She was really in love with that. And then I have an older brother, my, mom and dad, him and I kind of paired because of that. And he was very much about, he just loved music. Like, he dubbed music off the cassettes and the tapes. At some point he wanted to be a DJ, don't know what happened with that. So I come from a very, very musical background. But there's just something about this one time when they were playing the Brats. Who's that knocking on the door? It's the Brats, tat. And I'm looking at this girl and she's moving in single file with these boys, and she's got her hair done up, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, I want to be like her. She looks so bad. Like, she's a girl, like, she looks so cute, but like, she's strong, And I think the EVE Brad situation, then Lil Kim came in. But then obviously when I was older enough, then there was like Nicki Minaj, and it was, and they just made me feel really powerful because they could stand on their own, but they could stand with the boys and still be powerful.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so powerful. I'm trying to think that, like, the skill of rapping, I know it's very difficult. It's not an easy thing. We think it's easy. Was it that difficult for you to like, okay, let me sit down, like let me write some raps and let me see what I can do, put together something else?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
No. I think it's because I'm genuinely a female artist who writes my own songs, my own raps, my own freestyles. And that's why sometimes people be like, why don't you drop it? It's like, because I'm not sitting in a room full of people trying to write for me. Like, I actually write my own stuff. I've only recently become like comfortable with like sitting with many producers and many songwriters, but it's always been me because I genuinely enjoyed it. And whether there's a blockage where I just don't know how to tell the story or there's no story to tell, then I'm not going to write. But if there's a story to tell, then, I'm going to write it. But it's always come easy. The first song I wrote, I was with a group of, at the time, just before the bullying started, I was with a group of young girls. I think I was in grade 5, so I was about 10 or 11. And it's weird because at that time, that's when I had written my first poem. And my teacher was just like, this is not normal. I need to check online if this poem doesn't exist.
Yeah.
She checked online. She asked me to write something else. And she was getting the creeps. And then she called my mom. And she was like, listen, your daughter's like really, really good at creative writing. Can I take her under my wing and can we enter some competitions? And my mom was like, absolutely, why not? And that's when I had my first poem. As the youngest, I was actually the youngest poet in Africa to have their poem produced under an anthology called Fairy Tale Moon at the age of 10. And it was called Valentine's Day. And then there was another one called Mother of Us All that just spoke about world destruction and pollution. And so this is engraved in me. It's not something I try to do. Like, it's something that I was born with. And I believe in reincarnation. So maybe I was like Shakespeare's student in a different life or whatever it was. But it genuinely comes easy to me. I don't have to try.
It was like a seed.
Absolutely. And it definitely wasn't planted by my parents because my parents suck at like writing anything. Like, yeah, my parents suck, like, so it's definitely not from them. And my mother strongly believes like, maybe there's more to this reincarnation story.
So when you told your parents that, look, I want to do this rap thing, were they not, not sure what you actually wanted to do?
Okay, so my parents are actually divorced. My mom has married an amazing man who I also consider my dad. But at the time my biological dad and my mom had split. And I remember telling her, I was like, this is something I want to do. And I'm not here to lie to anyone. She literally said, just like, bring me home that degree. Like, bring me home something. I need you to be like the first person who attends an Ivy League university. You get that degree. And listen, if you want to go and do karaoke for the rest of your life, if you want to go into whatever you want to do, like, I'll support you. And that was the only kind of prerequisite she had. All she wanted was for her to, I feel like as a parent, that's like the, let me just take you through to university if you can do that, and then you can do whatever with your life. So I was very lucky with that. She paid for my first studio session.
Okay.
She was with me in Brahm for my first studio session. She was in charge of every single campaign we ever had. So Spike Uncontainable, they used to have this thing where they would go around looking for the hottest MCs. Once again, the youngest. That year, I was the only female to make it to top 4. I think I came second. The judge was Reason, Caesar Alakai now. He actually reminded me about it yesterday. And my mom would literally handle all the campaigns, doing the little posters with the stars and whatever. And then obviously Jack Scouts came with Jack Daniels. She did that as well. And then Kudi was the judge at the time. And then we won. And that was that. So my mother is like, I don't deserve her, but I always say, I really pray that on any talented child's life, that you find a parent who's able to sit with you, who is able to compromise with you, who's able to say, what, these are my fears, this is what I want you to do, but at the end of the day, it's on you. And she's still that person, she's never changed. Every time I felt like I didn't want to do music, she's just like, your life doesn't make sense. Every time I felt like I wanted to leave entertainment, she's like, your life doesn't make sense. And believe it or not, she does not like the camera. She does not want to see the camera. She does not want to be she hates the camera.
Okay.
You know, I have to beg and fast and beg to get her to do anything for me because she absolutely hates it. She loves being in her own quiet space, but she's my number one stan.
Wow, man. She always supports you.
Absolutely, no matter what.
Wow, man. It's
No
amazing.
matter what.
It's shocking because I think most parents, like my mom, I don't think she was going to agree if I had to
Rafa.
yeah.
Listen, I will say that when I got my first tattoo, okay, was this one?
Okay.
I hid it
Which
from
one
her
is
for
it?
the longest time. So there's actually one on my here, and I hid it from her for the longest time. And I actually got it with a friend of mine who passed on last year.
Yeah.
But her and I both had it. We hid it from our parents. Her mom found out, called my mom, and my mom was like, I'm going to try and investigate if she also has one.
Yeah.
And I hid it for like 2 years. And then one day I was still living with my mom, and I was getting one here. And she walks into the garage, and my tattoo artist, shout out to him, Spuama Tattoo, what is it? The guy you pay for pain. That's his name. And I'm sitting there like this, and my mom walks in and into the yard, and she's like, "Why is it tattoo? What are you doing to yourself?" And she cried and cried. She's so upset about it. And the weird thing is, then she came back a few minutes later, and she was just like, "Is this what she wants? Just know that this is what it means, and that's what it means." And I think for me, the biggest thing about parenting now is, I'm not saying let your kid do everything, but let them understand why you don't want them to do something, and let them, make the choice themselves.
Coming into the industry, did you always have a plan? Or maybe you had a team behind to tell you what to do and all that? Or you were the one who were telling them that, look, guys, this is where I want to go. And if you're not going to be there, guys, I'd rather just leave.
So I've had teams in the past, but I think it's when I started taking the front row. That's when I started making the most money. That's when I started doing what I wanted to do. But that also comes with a lot of L's, because there's a saying that you don't live long enough to make all your mistakes. So for a lot of the time, I didn't know what I was doing, but I was just doing it. Some people are naturally born leaders. Some people are delegates. Some people are followers. Some people just need to find themselves. But I have found that, yes, I've had a team, but I've always attracted leaders, and followers have always left. I always attract people who become something bigger than what they are, whether it's within my team or within another company I have, or literally outside somewhere else. And they're like, "Gee, you won't believe they resigned. Gee, you won't believe I got the job. Oh my gosh, Mom, I'm so happy for you." And they end up in very top positions. So I do think that I provide a boot camp for understanding what leadership is. But there are, natural followers, and there's nothing wrong. There are people who want to take instructions, and there's nothing wrong. And then they're just born leaders, and those are the people I attract.
The music industry is so huge, man. And I spoke to one other guy who's also a fellow rapper. He was telling me that, look, it can be a little bit, tricky for you when you come into the music scene.
Yeah.
You're just getting money that you were not even getting. You were working full time, getting 7.5, and now per hour, they're actually paying 20K.
Hectic.
Were you shocked? And how did you always have some sort of a financial knowledge? You would say, okay, this is how I need to do things. This is how I need to do things. Or maybe things were just everywhere.
Just that blue money. I don't play. I've gone through my own phase. I blew money. I don't even know where half the people are that I spent some of this money on. I blew money. And it's an unfortunate thing, but I think every artist needs to go through that. You need to go through a phase where you're just either buying bottles, or you're buying useless things, or and you just hope that, you find someone in time who's going to educate you about that. But that is something that I have, and I'm currently working on. I do feel that we need a structure somewhere, whether it's with the SAMRO, a Capasso, a SAMPRA, or whatever collection society, where we literally take artists through artist development. What do your finances look like? What can you get into? Because I wish people had this conversation with me a long time ago, because I don't even know where half those people are, who I spend stupid money on. But I think, for what it's worth with hip hop and all the nice things and, it added to the street cred. But when I look back, it was some social capital that came from it, but no financial, gain from it. So I do believe that there needs to be a time in your life where you're just like an artist, but maybe it should be like a budget, where you're just like, I'm gonna blow this amount, but it obviously becomes a problem when you're like a pitch black afro you used to earn 100,000 and today your story is what it is.
With the people that were there, people come and go because of money. What are the lessons that you learned with people and money?
Yeah.
But the money, you have it, they don't have it.
I definitely think it's like the benefit thing. Like they all become puppies, Everyone is trying to tell on everyone. Everyone is trying to be your best friend. Everyone's trying to look out for you. Everyone is trying to behave that they know you better than the other person because, I won't just get a bottle. I'll get like a designer handbag from her for my birthday, or she'll help me pay my rent, or, so they even turn against each other. But what you need to understand in life is that same person who's coming and telling you stuff about somebody else and what they said, chances are at some point the same way they're eating, we have this saying in Zulu, baglumi tende. Same way they're doing that to that person, they're just waiting, calculating to eventually do it to you. And I think for me, that's the biggest lesson. If anybody comes at me with the energy of wanting to out somebody in the same circle as me, based off of the virtue of the fact that they're trying to seem more loyal, I actually have 10 times the eye on you. There's no way that you will come into a group of people and there's so much destruction happening, so much chaos happening. I believe that even if something is happening to show you care and love for me, you handle it without you having to tell me unless I asked you. So the minute you feel like you need to say, Gigi, you know what Justin did to me and said about you, and there is something you're trying to prove at that point, you should have handled your business with that and shown your loyalty with that, walked away, and one day when it comes up, you're like, nah, I handled that. The fact that you need to report it feels like you need a gold medal, and I do not have gold medals to give anymore.
Do you think you were used?
Absolutely, all the time. Because I've got such a small heart, and because of that, I would rather give to people I don't know than to people I know. I will go to, literally, I'm taking some very nice designer clothes and wigs in the next 2 weeks to a children's home, to a girls' home, girls who are growing up, girls who need matric dance dresses, girls who know nothing about me except the person I am online, than to give to somebody I know. Facts on facts. I just don't want you to want my life and you're that close. That can get very dangerous. That's how people start scheming.
Did you have a feeling of maybe there are people among your space that want the life that you're
Absolutely. Who wouldn't want my life? I'm traveling the world. I give opportunities. I'd like to believe that I'm very selfless. I protect the people I love. You want me on your team. You want me on your team. And it took a very long time for me to understand that. And I need to be this outspoken about the kind of person I am so that when you come into my space, you know how to act. You cannot want my life. I cannot guarantee you that you're going to stay in my life for ratting out other people. Be true to me and I'll be true to you. We travel around the world all the time. My team's passports look really good. But when you're out with the drama and you're like conversating with, blogs and you're bringing in everything that is distracting me from what I want to do, then you can't sit at the table with me. Because I've been there in spaces where I've been depressed, I felt suicidal, I felt certain ways because I literally let the wrong puppy in.
Is it difficult for you to leave people go, like to let them go?
No, not anymore. It's so easy. Sometimes I even like it when you leave. Because I feel bad when I leave. I like it when you leave because it's an easier thing to do. Like, then when you leave, then you can actually go around and say to people like, I left her. Like, I prefer it that way because, I don't know, it's just something about the human condition and wanting to feel like you've won, And if that's the piece that I can get from that, then I'm happy, But it's another thing when, there's the back and forth and the obsession with the relation. That's what really scares me. So I do respect people who, leave on their own or run away now because they've been caught out. I really like those people. The problem is the one who wants to go to court and they want to stay in your life. And they know that, like, there's no way, my principles and yours, my morals and yours, there's no way we can ever share a meal because God knows what you put in that meal for me.
Jeez, man, that's crazy.
I'm hard now. I'm super hard. And I used to be super soft, Justice. Like, I used to be really, really soft. And the industry and human beings and wanting one up on someone, that's where it gets you too, So, like, advice for anyone even watching this, like, you need to be very careful of who you let into your life and how they come into your life. I've been in situations where I've asked people to come into my life. Hey, please come do this, with me. Hey, and I've gotten burned, and that was my lesson to learn. So now I'm really extremely cautious. I weigh out what they have and what I have. I'm very good with body language. I studied anthropology and psychology. Take those things very seriously in my industry. Those are the people you like. You really need to be very careful about who you have around you. Very, very careful.
Yeah. Do you mind taking off your glasses? I just want people to see.
You want me to? You said it was going to be 3 minutes in.
That was like 20 minutes.
It was okay.
20 minutes in.
Don't worry, my eyes are not glowing. They're not demonic. I've just changed a lot. But I feel like the people here, you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's a place where people push you to, where it's just like, I'm not signing up. Oh, and I have this prayer where I say, Lord, we're always talking about it. Lord, if I did this person wrong, let me be punished. And if they did me wrong, let have your way with them. And that's when I walk away.
Is it like an eye for an eye?
Never. Karma. Yeah, definitely karma. I mean, karma is an eye for an eye, right? But it's like, if I didn't do anything wrong to you, then why must I suffer and die? Like, why must you try and sabotage me? Why must you, But if it's like I did nothing wrong to you, then let me be. Like, I believe so much in the universe and in spirit. If I did nothing wrong to you, nothing will happen to you. If I did, something will happen to me.
How cold is the industry? Because it seems as if like us, the people who are observing, we are far away. We are seeing it from far.
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
How cold is it?
Well, for one, the friends I have in the industry, nobody knows we're friends. So we never post. We meet in our homes. We have gatherings together. It's a rule. We don't post each other's pictures. We don't wish each other happy birthday. We don't take anything to the timeline because it's so easy to bring in, a negative situation around it. So for one, I know there are a lot of like celebrities who like, it almost feels planned, like, this is a friendship, friendship goals, but once you actually track those friendships, none of them have actually worked, So whether it's from like a PR standpoint or something goes wrong because now like a third person comes in or there's like some gossiping and bickering going around. So I absolutely refuse to ever have a situation where I have friends in the industry that people know about. I do have friends, very close friends, for birthdays, for my mom's birthday, we go away on holiday, but I'll never post. I will never post. Because I've just seen, like, you don't live long enough to make your mistakes. I've seen how it ends.
You're literally on your own in the industry.
According to what people see, but I'm really not. I do have friends. I'm not going to lie. I have a lot of celebrity friends. Not a lot, but like a fair amount. But I wouldn't disclose that. And I wouldn't disclose who they are. And we have a genuine conversation. And it's often, look, if we tell people we're like this, then, this might become a problem in future because people will try to come for this special thing we have. My best friend is a male artist nobody knows about. Yeah. He's an absolutely amazing person. He's won numerous awards. I've held these kids when they were born straight, in the hospital. But I will never announce that, because I know what that means for people who just don't like nice things. And unfortunately, as humans, we don't like nice things.
Would they try to like separate you guys?
Of course. I mean, what's the first thing you think about when a male and a female are friends? Come on now. And he's married. Maybe I'm seeing somebody. What's the first thing you say? It's ridiculous.
Do you think people are getting paid, like to...
Absolutely.
For example, like with where you are right now, you've got a best friend who's in the industry, you've got a big name for yourself, maybe somebody who's, I don't know, maybe they're trying to take you down or they're trying to take him down. They would pay somebody I don't know.
I don't think take us down, but they just like, definitely, I do believe that there are people, I mean, same way we pay for promo. So for many people watching, you know, sometimes when you drop a song online, there are groups of people who work together to promote your stuff online. So you'll see, oh, whoever dropped today, here's the link or whatever. That's an actual real thing, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. People pay for promo, labels pay for promo. Then if there's that kind of promo, that's good. Why wouldn't somebody go and pay to say Gigi did this or Gigi did that? I've been in situations where people have done that to me. And I know names because I had to get lawyers involved. You know, and it's simply, it's not even to make money, it's just having a bad heart. You've just decided this is how you're going to fight and this is what you're going to do. And unfortunately, you know, a friend of a friend will come, or that particular person will come and say, listen, this person is the one who actually came to me with the story or to do this. You know, and either I'm just trying to get hits on my story or I've been paid, you know, and I've let a lot of things go because, like I'm saying, I believe so much in spirit. I believe so much in karma. When your karma comes for you and it's a bad thing, you'll know it's me. You'll know it's me. When it happens, you know that point where you're just like, why is this happening to me? You will know it's me. Because I pray on that. I don't compromise.
Jeez, man, it's so cold, man. Mm-hmm. Like, you really need a jacket.
Yeah, why would you want to be in entertainment, guys? That's crazy. Like, why would you voluntarily want to go to... You know, sometimes even, I don't know, there was something I was watching about morticians in the mortuary. Yeah. I think I would have been a mortician. I think I'd rather be a mortician in the mortuary. Like washing the dead bodies and making them look nice to go see God and stuff, you know. Industry, colder than that.
Is there anything that has ever put you to sleep crying in the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, a lot of things. I think for one, everyone can agree, like, I'm probably one of the most bullied people online. I don't know how I rise. Lately, I've muted all of them, though, so I don't see half their comments, you know? And then, you know, then you get, like, other markets, like, outside the country, you get, like, where people absolutely love you, you know? But there are a few of those instances. I mean, for any woman, when you attack how I look, when you attack how I speak, I never was like this, Justice. I never was, but I didn't have a choice, you know?
But Gigi, how do you... Man,
something died. I know something died. I can't tell you what it is, but like something died, you know? And I don't want to say it's my love for mankind, but it's definitely a love for everyone within mankind. Like, I'm very selective now, and that's where we probably all need to get, because not everyone's your friend.
But how do you deal with so much negativity on the internet, man?
I mute. Like, mutes. I'm not the blocking type, but I definitely mute. I mean, I mute. So anyway, I've seen that. Like, I saw somebody who I knew who used to tell me about their mental issues, like behind the scenes and whatever. And when something was happening with me online, they were also commenting negatively, you know? So you can imagine the amount of betrayal that comes with thinking that you have this face or this profile on social media and you think that I'm not going to see, and I still see. But then there are also people who I don't know, who, I'm not going to lie to you, even if recently I was training for something, I didn't see it. It's like somebody had to come to me and they're like, yo, are you trending? You're in so much trouble, you know? And the truth is, what I've also noticed about South African social media is that they choose to read things how they want to read them. Like, you will choose that, okay, today I'm going to make sure that, okay, Gigi said this is a pot plant, right? No, she's actually saying, why are you growing weed on the table? You know, they'll make it something that is not. And it's like, no, I said it's a pot plant. At what point did I say it's a weed plant? Oh, pot means weed, so it's weed. Each to their own. Like, at some point you just need to break away from that, because I'm telling you, Justice, if we were to actually go and investigate a lot of these people attacking us online, you will feel sorry for them. Who they are, what they're going through, like, just a lot of, you know what, I've learned to look at some negative comments and I'm just like, you, if I come to your house, my brother, you probably have mad issues. And come to think of it, we were actually talking about something that happened where we were hiring for one of my businesses. And we usually do internet checks. So people don't think internet checks are a real thing. They are. And this girl wasn't qualified for the position, but I wanted her to learn with, experience, because there's always this thing about like, okay, you're saying I must have 10 years experience, but how am I going to do that if you don't allow me to work, And I didn't want to do stipend. I wanted to do salary with her. And then the final step was literally us checking the girl's social media. And a few years ago, she was saying the most outrageous things about me. Like most outrageous things, about how I look, about this and about that and about that. And it was just so awkward, right? It was like really, really awkward. And I was like, you know what? This is kind of like wanting a job at BMW and you don't like the M3. You don't like the 325. Like there's no way you can work for BMW and you don't like one of the cars, or you don't pretend to like one of the cars. If I let you into BMW, you might just mess up some of our engines or our paintwork. So unfortunately, I can't give you that. So it's like a very crazy thing, because I liked her when she was sitting there. Like she was one of my favorites. And then when they showed me that, I was just like, what? Like it was such heartbreak for me, because I was like, girl, you said this.
Did she apologize?
Yeah, what should you say? It's a long time ago, I've grown up. Yeah, it's always like dismissive. When the shoe's on the other foot, we must forgive. No, but she didn't get the job. She didn't get the job, but it was just like, I think that was the lesson.
Okay.
That I'm not just a musician. I'm somebody who really likes to empower people. But at that point, I was just like, if I'm to think as heartless as you are, I'm not going to make this decision because I'm a human. If I'm a human, then I'm going to hire you. But because I'm a brand, what would BMW do if they saw you talking something whack about them? They were not going to hire you.
Jeez, man.
Yeah. Calm. I told you I pray. It just comes out. It just comes to me.
I'm scared.
It just comes to me. And all of us have it in us. And I feel that's how we need to navigate as human beings. You complain so much, people are hurting me. But it's like the same thing, right? You continuously get cheated on as a woman. But then when you realize like there's a type of man you're actually attracting, And I was attracting people because, yes, I wanted to put them on and I wanted them to be this and that. But they didn't want those things for me, They wanted to be on. They wanted this life. And I was more attracted to the ambition than I was about how much they cared about me or the person I was. And I feel like for us, sometimes you really need to put your morals before anything else. But in that moment, I gave her what she gave me.
Yeah. Let's talk about the beef in the industry. How do you squash beef, man? Like,
do I have beef with anyone?
I don't know. You tell me.
Not as far as I know. I'd only have beef with someone who's got more money than me.
Oh, okay. Is there a female or a male?
Nah, girls, nah.
Because of the beef that I suppose it happened with Fifi. Or was just some sort of a talk back?
Nah, she's actually she's nice. She cool. I just think we both queens. There's just this alpha female energy. Like we both feel out. Like you know what I'm saying? Like okay. Fifi is a legend. And I, in my rights, also feel like I'm the one. So
do you think you guys were fighting?
It's like it's like her and I were just like it. Yeah. No, man, she's a queen.
Look,
but it's just like, like we can't be in the same. You go to there in your kingdom. I'll go to there. Like we can't be in the same castle, because she's the one.
But you guys were in the same industry, hip hop industry. So yes. we know the people who were. I don't think they were fighting for this. We
were put against each other. Her and I were put against each other. I mean, like Fifi, Gigi, her. And when you think of her name and you think of my name, it makes sense. Her name isn't it Refilio? Like, yeah, it makes sense. And then Gigi, I'm telling you about the G from Genesis and Gabrielle Gigi. Like it makes sense. And then we're like both this little coming into the industry. She's like a mad rapper. She's amazing. I also think I'm the one. That's perfect. That is hip hop. Rest in peace to AKA. He said it was a contact sport. And I think that's what Fifi and I understand. Like, it's a contact sport. And it's crazy because, like, we don't talk. You know, but it's like, I get it. Like, and I think she does too. You know, I think she does too. It's just big energy. It's big girl energy. Yeah. And when it's big girl energy, like, you just want, like, my nails are longer than yours. My hair is longer than yours. I look, you know, it's just we're the ones.
Are you guys cool now?
I wouldn't say we're cool.
Because I saw that
we're in the same industry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, we're definitely not friends. But, like, she's the one. I love what Fifi's done, you know, for her legacy, what she did for Mutswako. Like, that can never be done again. But, like I'm saying, like, she's a queen. And in my right, I'm also a queen, you know? Pro, coolie, where I come from, all the hits I've had, all the hits she's had, people we've worked with, I've traveled the world, you know, we both have our flexes going on. So I think with her and I, it's a game of, you know, I did, but it's nothing personal, like, yeah, no, you like this, or it's flex, it's hip hop. The problem with women is when you beef with them, like, they become extremely, like, I don't know, like, they'll now start, they take it in, you know, it's no longer like a competitive thing. It becomes a little more serious. But, you know, when it's with a boy, it becomes fun, you know? Yeah. So I think I'd only be able to beef with, like, a guy.
Would you do that? Pero I know you're strong.
For me?
Yeah.
No, not anymore.
You're tired.
No, I've made too much money.
Oh. Okay.
Like, beef, I don't see Jay-Z. No, I've made too much money. Doesn't mean I have it anymore. Maybe I blew it. Remember I said I might have blown it. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, there's a time for beef and then there's a time for, like, building and collaborating and having conversations. And I think the best person to look at is Proverb. You know, Proverb he's a great example of, you know, growing up and then becoming this businessman. He just finished his MBA. I'm studying towards my MBA. They're just better things to do than beef now. I need to go study.
Wow.
Yeah.
The video I saw of you, and I think you were in the car and you were saying, my nose is very clean, darling. I can go for a drug test now.
Oh.
Were you
Oh my God. No, oh, you mean,
yeah, I don't know if
are we talking about that again? Yeah, my nose is very clean. We can do a drug test even now. That's one of my biggest flexes. That's one of my biggest flexes. Like, So if I said it to someone, I was probably just encouraging them. I don't know. Did I say that to someone?
I don't know. You tell us. Maybe it's a rhyme.
I say a lot of things. I write a lot of songs. I don't remember. All I know is that my nose is very clean and we can go for a drug test.
Was somebody accusing you for something?
No, never. No, never. That conversation was, the fact that they were accusing me means maybe they play with their noses. Like, you can't be in your right mind to accuse me of something. You know, that whole situation was a little weird because somebody said something on my podcast about somebody else. And I liked the somebody else. And the somebody else knew that I liked them. And even like the whole show, I kept saying, oh, I love this person. No, that's not that. Like, I love this person. No. And then the person then went, after seeing the episode, to say some stuff about me. Yeah, and like I said, like, don't step on my toe.
Oh, you bite them.
And I was never like that. That's where the things started happening. Like, I started changing.
So the game changed you?
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Who would want to be in entertainment? Are you guys crazy? If I knew what I know now, I would have gone and studied my journalism style. I've just left everyone alone. Probably be running out in Gaza right now, you know, playing with real bombs, not these Twitter bombs they're throwing that don't land.
There's a song that you did, I think, it's an Amapiano song, you know. I know you for hip hop, you know. Was it a very tough decision for you to try something out?
Well, listen, it's very difficult when you're like traveling the world and you're the only like South African hip hop artist on the lineup. And every time you get to a place, is like an Amapiano artist, right? So sometimes with anyone who knows about stage production, they try to link performances. So let's say I'm in may his soul rest in peace. 2 years ago, I was in London with Costa Tish, and let's say I was performing before him. If we had a song together, it would be easy for us to interlink the performances, So I started looking at it like that, where it was like, okay, how can we make people listen to South African hip hop when Amapiano is currently dominating? So let's get onto a song where Robert Boy is doing amazing, Lady Do is doing amazing, Ndoshkas is doing amazing, Mr. John Vuligate, and they're all traveling the world. And these are some of the names that I keep seeing on the same lineups as me, even though we may not be performing at the same time, or the genres are completely different. So how do I merge into that space? And also with like hip hop, there's this thing like about, oh no, you're selling yourself. It's so like, and I'm like, that's what killed hip hop in the first place. The fact that there were so many camps and, like for Gigi, retweet for Rouge. Like for Nadia, retweet for Poitsy. That stuff irritates me so much because the same chats are not being had with the boys. Like, it's okay to have Casper and whoever as your faves, and Nasty and whoever as your faves. But the minute it comes to the girls, it's like there's only one choice. And it's just like, no, it doesn't work that way. I like sourworms. I like toffees. It's okay to listen to everybody's music. So just wanting to like break up that narrative and get into that about piano space, learn how they do things and how they support each other and bring it back to the culture. So, I mean, we've always been judged for it. Sizo Alakain, we were in studio yesterday, Questas, Java. There's so many people who've done the crossover, but I think people don't understand that that's to maintain an identity. If hip hop completely becomes quiet or we can't find ways to get Amapiano fans to listen to hip hop anymore, then we're gonna have a huge problem. We're gonna have a huge problem. So I think for me, it was just being mature enough, being strategic enough, being a businesswoman to understand that when I'm in London, Lady Do is there. She's also performing there. If we have a song together, it makes things easier. We can perform the song together. It's a moment for South Africa.
Jeez, did you get any negative comments? Because you have a hip hop fan base, right?
Yeah.
And
I actually have a mix because remember I did Fufa with King Munada.
Yeah.
And then I did Mashonisa with Makadzi. So I've always had a bit of a, and then I have a song with DJ Tira, I have a song with Knock Music. So I've always been that girl who can exist in different spaces. So naturally there'll be the heads who want to be underground and smoking weed and telling me that I can't do anything else. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, but I can't grow. I want to learn. Because remember guys, music is also like, if a person realizes they're very good at 100 meters, eventually, like in the Olympics, they'll try 200, they'll try 400. Then they'll know, okay, 100 is my best, right? And eventually, when you just know that you can't do anything else, you'll stay there. That is what music also is for a lot of real creatives. You want to dabble, you want to experiment, you can't keep doing the same thing and giving your fans the same thing. You need to go out and experiment to be able to bring something in that's fresh, but something that's like, yo, this was creative. How the hell did this happen? And King Munada with Myself was a very big song, a very, very big song, Fufa. And had I not taken that plunge, I probably would have stopped in 2019, but I also enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much, and I got a whole lot of fans out in Limpopo now.
Is hip-hop dying?
Never. With loud mouths like me. Hip-hop can never die. I mean, look at my chains. Look at my attitude. Look at the quotes you made. We are some of the most controversial, confident, dramatic storytellers on the planet. Hip-hop can never die. South African hip-hop can never die because a lot of Amapiano artists were hip-hop artists that just didn't do hip-hop. They did something else. A lot of them know our songs. A lot of them speak to us. A lot of us are trying to get on songs with them and vice versa. Hip-hop can never die. Hip-hop is the core of songwriting. A lot of songwriters at some point were rappers. Do you know that Sky Wonder was a rapper? She was a rapper. Yes, well, I don't know. I just feel like hip-hop is living just through everything. We come through everything. You can't run away from hip hop. It's like oxygen. Even when you go on your coke, there's some oxygen that comes out. Like, we're everywhere. Songwriters, different genres, crossover. There's some people who are rappers who hold corporate positions now who then come and say, listen, let's shoot this show because I'm that in love with hip hop. Hip hop can never die. It's the DNA of music. That's where songwriting starts. I can be a rapper, but I can sing you something to sing. I can write you something to sing, but I'm a rapper. Can't sing for Jack. But if I write it and you're singing it, is that not hip hop living in one way or another? Because of my core, who I listen to, how I was schooled.
Thank you so much, man, for coming. Wow.
Was I overwhelming?
No.
Do I talk a lot?
No. You do.
I hope I sound like an asshole.
But that's great.
Do I sound like an asshole? No.
Yeah, you talk.
Sound like an asshole.
No, you don't sound like an asshole. You talk. You're very talkative. You know, you're very engaging.
Thank you.
That's. You're also a podcaster, so that's why also a rapper. You do so many things, man.
Imagine, and it all started with hip hop, and people are going to say hip hop is dying. Zinga's got a podcast. El Tito's got a podcast. I've got a podcast. Rashid K's got a podcast. OG Samge's got a podcast. Come on now. Hip hop can never die. We multiply.
Nah.
Ricky Rick.
When are you dropping soon?
I'm so excited. We're dropping in the second half of the year. Right now, we're waiting for the highest bidder. Everyone is bidding for the album. Okay. So we've been hit up by some labels, and because I'm indie, but we're going to definitely do a joint venture on this one. And yeah, if they're watching this, it's literally the highest bidder. Like, whoever can give us the most money to do what we want to do, to shoot cool videos, to push to the fans, you know the vibe.
What's the name of the album?
I don't know.
Okay.
I actually don't know. But it features a lot of cool people you guys know. I've made sure to open up the industry as well. And some other cool names from outside the country.
Oh, dope.
So that's what we've been doing. I'm so proud of us because we made it on time here, because we literally left studio at 4 a.m.
Wow, today?
Yeah. But you know, shout out to my makeup artist. They don't show. It doesn't show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Genesis.
Genesis, love it.
That's the name of the album.
Oh, well.